Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo! I'm more hyped than usual now, and I have no idea why. I can't tell you why I'm super excited, but I am. I feel like it's been forever since I've recorded an episode. So welcome back to another episode of Tom Talks. It's your boy, the one and only Tom. We're gonna go over week 12 and predict week 13 this week. So I hope you all had a nice and safe Thanksgiving. I spent most of it working at my second job, unfortunately. So I didn't get all that much time to relax. I had Thanksgiving dinner, which was amazing as it always is, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I watched. I went to work. I worked my second job just for some extra pocket money, and then luckily at the job, I was able to listen to Red Zone to able to listen to most of these games. So let's go over them real quick. Let's go over the Thanksgiving games. Green Bay actually upset Detroit, and I did not think this was going to happen. I'm not gonna lie to you. This was a kind of a bit of surprise for me. Why? I don't know. Well, not really why, but like, I didn't expect Green Bay to be like that this week. And it was really more so Detroit lost. They turned the ball over like what 3 different times or something. Goff did not have a good game. He fumbled like twice. Yeah, I believe Jared Goff fumbled the football twice, and that's really like the main reason why they lost the game. So Green Bay is now back in the playoff hunt. Actually, let's look over the play. We're gonna look over the playoff hunt in a second. I just want to pull that up. Let's hold on. Where's my thing? Right there. NFL.com. I actually want to look at the. Let's look at the playoff picture real quick. Before we let's just pull it up. So yeah, Lions haven't won on Thanksgiving since I think they kicked the Eagles' ass on Thanksgiving. I want to say it was like 2015. They kicked it. It was like 45-7. That was like the most definitely one of the top 5 most embarrassing losses as an Eagles fan that I can remember off the top of my head. Excuse me. Next game, we all saw it coming. Cowboys kicked the Commanders' ass 45-10. Not really much to say. Deron Bland set an NFL record. He returned like was it? It was now 5 touchdowns for pick six. He got 5 pick sixes in the season. It's a new NFL record. So good on him for that. And Cowboys look like the Cowboys. That's what they always do. They show up and they beat inferior opponents. So nothing really to ride home and brag about. So congratulations, Dallas, on beating an inferior team like you've done all year. You haven't shown up and beaten the good teams. We got San Francisco beat Seattle pretty handily, 31-13. I only gave Seattle a chance because of Geno Smith. I don't know how healthy he would be, and clearly he wasn't healthy enough. And that defensive line dominated, as not to anyone's surprise, but they did dominate. So yeah, I was wrong. I thought Seattle would pull off the upset here, but nope. San Francisco is just a much better team than they are. And we'll get to San Fran in a second because there's a lot of dumbass fans, fucking asshole fans on Twitter talking a bunch of mad shit about Philadelphia. Because that's just what it seems like. That's just the life of an Eagles fan. Just every other fan base thinks they got the right to talk shit out of their ass, and then once we reply, they get all in their feelings. Oh, you can't say that shit. Fuck off. Like, I don't want to hate other NFL fan bases. It's just they when they come at us, I can't help but just fucking hate them right back. Like, I don't bother nobody. I try to engage in like try to have good, honest, intelligent football conversation. But a lot of these fan bases are like either they're just dumb as hell or they're pretending to be trolls, and it's just pathetic at this point. I'm just over it. But anyway, enough of that dumbass tangent. Dolphins crushed the Jets 34-13. I saw most of the game. I kind of dozed off. It's kind of a boring game. 99-yard interception, 99-yard pick six. I don't even know how the Jets got their 1 touchdown. I think they scored. I think the Jets got a pick six as well, but I don't remember. I kind of fell asleep at some point during the game. Falcons beat the Saints 24-15. No surprise. Well, I picked the Saints to win because I picked the Saints to win because I picked the Saints to win the division. I thought they were going to win the division pretty handily, but clearly I'm wrong, and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're just Derek Carr got hurt. The receivers are hurt. There's just a lot of bad injury luck, and Atlanta's defense is solid. I figured they'd be good with Jesse Bates back there. He was one of the better free agents in the offseason, and same with Calais Campbell, but At the same time, like their offense is not that great. Riddler's not the guy. If anything, Atlanta should trade for Justin Fields. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. We'll get to that conversation like in the off season. Steelers barely beat the Bengals, but the Steelers had a great offensive day. That's like the first time in like what 2 or 3 years they actually had over 400 yards of offense. And no surprise there that the Bengals lost again. Burrow's done for the year. They're probably going to lose out if we're being completely honest for the rest of the year. It sucks to say, but that's what happens when you lose Joe Burrow. So what happens when you have a bad offensive line. But it is what it is at this point. Bengals probably in last place. I don't know they should draft bolster offensive line once again. The Jags barely hold on to beat the Houston Texans. That this is a good game. I expected the Jags to come back and win, and they did. So good on the Jags. So now they have a solid 2-game lead in the division. And as of right now, the Texans are out of the playoff picture because the Indianapolis Colts were able to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a really good game actually. Yeah, it's a pretty good game from what I listened. The Bucks came back. They had the ball last drive, but the Colts defense stopped them. So good on them. This dog shit game, fucking Giants. Somehow the Giants pulled off a win in the most boring game of the fucking weekend. Titans and Panthers. Titans squeeze out a victory against Carolina. And because of that loss, they officially fired Frank Reich. Which, to be honest, isn't surprising because it just seems like the message isn't going through to them. But at the same time, when you're David Tepper, you're an owner. No one's going to tell him what he can or cannot do. But at the same time, I figure if you're an owner of an NFL team, you got to give a guy at least 3 years. And yes, I know there's the recent trend of like good owners and good GMs hiring coaches that have success right away. Like Nick Sirianni had success right away. Sean McVay had success right away. Um, just a couple off the top of my head. Those two guys had success right away, and they they kicked ass right away, and that's what everyone's looking for. They're looking for the next Sean McVay, the next Nick Sirianni, the next whoever big name coach, and they want to have success right away. And they refuse to. It just seems like Tepper refused to be patient like that. I don't know everything that's going on in Carolina, but I do know that Josh McCown got fired, and someone else got fired down there. I can't remember who else. Was it the actual offensive coordinator, or I don't remember. Yeah, someone else. I only know someone else got fired, but this is not good. This is not a good look for Bryce Young, and honestly, and this offseason, no one's gonna want the Panthers job. It's gonna feel real bad for them because no one's gonna want that job. It's gonna be a guy. It's gonna be someone like Josh McDaniels who that would be his only choice is to go to Carolina. But Josh McDaniels should not be coaching again in the NFL. He should not be an NFL head coach again. But anyway, move on. Rams crushed the Cardinals. Not surprising there. Really not much to say about that game. Rams are kind of back in the playoff race. Broncos, however, I thought they were going to win, but I didn't think it'd be, well, I didn't think it'd be this far away of a victory, but I thought it'd be a lot closer. But clearly, Russell Wilson's playing well enough. The Broncos their defense has done such a great job over these past 5 games. After giving up 70 points, Vance Joseph said, "Shut the fuck up, fucking do better," and they did better. That was a terrible analogy, but whatever. Terrible hype speech, but whatever. Anyway, Chiefs beat the Raiders 31-17. They started off really slow. They were down like 14 to nothing, but the Chiefs eventually turned it on second quarter, second half. So no surprise there. I don't think Antonio Pierce is going to keep the Raiders head coaching job. They're going to be looking for somebody else. And the best game of the weekend, the Eagles squeezed out my Eagles squeezed out a victory wearing their Kelly Green jerseys against the Buffalo Bills. And I gotta say, this was a really great game. A lot of penalties, and a lot of Buffalo Bills fans crying, "Oh, we got away with so much shit." That's the game of football. Sometimes you get away with shit, sometimes you don't. What else was I gonna say? Yeah. And they had plenty of opportunities to come back and win the game. They were up by 10 points. a couple of times. They're up by 10 points at halftime. They're up by 10 points in like the third quarter. They're up like 24-14. So it's really their own fault for blowing the lead. They blew the lead. Josh Allen threw an interception to James Bradbury. We capitalized off of that, and we were able to, they were able to drop the ball back down the field with Gabe Davis scoring that touchdown. And then we tied the game, a 59-yard field goal from Jake the Make. Jake Elliott is becoming the best kicker in the league. Like he just as of right now, Justin Tucker is the best right now, but as soon as he retires, it's gonna be Jake Elliott. We need more respect on his name. And the Bills should have won the game in overtime. They had Gabe Davis open, so I don't know if it was some sort of miscommunication on Gabe's part or Allen's part, but they were only able to settle for a field goal. We do our thing. I was on my feet the entire overtime. I was like, dog, let's get this ball down the field. Let's take a play at a time. And then Jalen Hurts does his thing. He fucking runs the ball in the end zone, scores a touchdown, hits the fucking, I wish I could do it right here, but hits this pose, hits the T pose. Yeah, I'm the fucking man. That's what he said. And he is. Jalen Hurts is the fucking man. That's my quarterback. He's that fucking guy. He is him. As all the memes say and all that shit. So, obviously, the only criticism I have of my team is that we need to start off the game better. Like, we need to start off the same way we start second halves. Like, we didn't just get lead. We need to just blow out the gate right away, kick ass right away. Sunday night game, I only watched like the first half, but the Ravens seem to have dominated the Chargers 20-10. Chargers are basically out of the playoffs now. I really don't see a scenario that the Chargers are going to be able to pull off 6 straight wins and make it back to the playoff race. And the Bears, the Bears somehow beat the Minnesota Vikings in a last-second field goal. That is embarrassing for Vikings, man. I mean, Josh Dobbs, his magic's running out. He threw 4 interceptions against this Bears defense. I mean, yes, the Bears defense is pretty solid, but at the same time, it's the Bears. They're not that great of a team. Justin Fields is, in this offense, Justin Fields is not that good of a quarterback. And the Bears are in a really weird situation. Because if they fire Eberflus, they're probably going to have to get rid of Justin Fields. They're probably going to have to trade him away. But I don't think Justin Fields is a bad quarterback. And yes, he hasn't won that much. But at the same time, he's had a shitty offensive situation. This is like the year to like prove it. They got a much better O-line. DJ Moore, one of the more underrated, better wide receivers in the league, is on their team, and he's doing fairly well for them. But it's not resulting in wins. So I don't know what the answer is. I think it's the coaching staff. They need to fire this whole coaching staff. They need to bring someone who's an offensive guy and either be able to fix Justin Fields or, with the Panthers pick, draft Caleb Williams and just go from there. So let's look at next week's games. Tonight's is obviously Seahawks and Cowboys. I really want to pick the Seahawks to win. I really want to say they are going to win this game, but they did not look good the last couple of weeks. Obviously Geno Smith being hurt doesn't help. I don't know how healthy he is. And the Cowboys, they're undefeated at home, and they've been on fire, so I really hate picking the Cowboys, but I think the Cowboys are going to win this game tonight. I think it'll be close. It'll be a close game. I just don't think that the Seahawks have enough firepower right now to outduel the Cowboys. Chargers at Patriots. Another snooze fest of a game. Even though the Chargers suck right now, the Patriots suck even more. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Barely. It's gonna be a ridiculously close game. Chargers over Patriots. Lions at Saints. I thought this would be a tough game for the Lions, but after the way Saints have played in the last few weeks, I've lost all hope in them. So I'm gonna pick Detroit to win this game, and they're gonna be back at 9-3. Falcons at Jets. I don't trust the Jets anymore. Even though Aaron Rodgers is cleared to practice, which is insane, he could potentially come back from a torn Achilles in 12 weeks. So probably another. I think so. He's off the IR. They have like 21 days to decide if he wants to play. So he'll probably. So if the Jets somehow keep winning and are still somehow in the playoff picture, I think that's when Rodgers will start. But at this point, the Jets aren't going to make the playoffs. It's going to be really hard for them to make the playoffs. They're not going to win 6 straight. So who knows what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers? Who knows if he's even going to play this year? I don't think he should play this year. I think they should just save him for next year for 2024. But either way, I'm going with the Falcons. Even though because both quarterbacks suck, Ritter has his moments. Cardinals at Steelers. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I trust their defense more. I like Kyler Murray as a quarterback better, but I trust their Steelers defense to shut him down. Division game, Colts and Titans. Ooh, this will actually be kind of a solid game right here. Titans barely beat a bad Panthers team, but I'm going with the Colts again. I think the Colts have caught fire. They're playing well defensively and they're running the ball well. Even though they lost Jonathan Taylor, they're still gonna have a good running game. He's out for at least like another couple of weeks, I think. Dolphins and Commanders. I'm going with the Miami Dolphins. I don't see a reason why they would lose to the Commanders. Now, here's a really interesting game. Broncos and Texans. Both teams are just outside the playoff picture. I think both of these teams can make the playoffs. Now, it's really tough. The Broncos defense is much better, but I like CJ Stroud a lot. I put my stock in him. I would put my stock in him now a lot. But the Broncos defense is they've been very good these past 5 weeks. They've had like 15 turnovers, like 15, 16 turnovers over these past like 5 games. That's like the best in the league. They have the most turnovers. So I expect this Broncos defense to turn the ball over, turn CJ Stroud over multiple times. So I think because of that, I'm going with the Broncos, but I think it's going to be a really close game. And I think the Broncos actually might bounce back to make the playoffs as a wild card team. Bucks and Panthers, going with the Bucks. Can't trust Carolina. Can't trust them. Just you can't trust the Carolina Panthers. They're not a good team. Browns at Rams. God, it's actually a really tough game to pick. Like I like the Browns defense more than I like the Rams offense, but at the same time, Matthew Stafford, I trust him definitely over Dorian Thompson. I forget what the quarterback's name is, but I trust him more than the Browns' current quarterback. So I'm going to go with the Rams, just barely though. It's gonna be really close. I'm giving the home team. And now for the best game of the weekend. The 49ers, those bitch ass 49er fans are traveling to Philadelphia. After all this shit talk, all their the only reason I'm concerned about this game is because the amount of injuries that we have right now. We have a lot of injuries. Milton Williams had a concussion. He didn't play last week, so I'm hoping he comes back this week. We need more defensive line depth because I don't think Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis can play as many snaps as they did last week and expect to be okay. Um, Fletcher Cox is hurt. He has groin injury. I don't know. I think they said today he was limited or not practicing or didn't practice. I'm not sure. I got to take a look at that again. So and our linebacker Zach Cunningham is out for at least a couple of weeks. He's definitely not playing this week. So I'm worried about a linebacker. So Christian McCaffrey is a really big concern, especially in the passing game out of the backfield. They just do screens to Christian McCaffrey the entire game. That's what's going to be concerning. But at the same time, I was concerned about the 49ers last year in the NFC Championship game. And we whooped that ass. And they're still crying about that. Oh, that congrats on beating a team with no quarterback last year. You had a backup tight end block Hassan Reddick or try to block Hassan Reddick. You could not block Hassan Reddick the entire day. And that was not a dirty hit. He went for the elbow and supposedly it tore his UCL. So that's what happened with Brock Purdy. And then again, you couldn't block Hassan Reddick and he sacked him and knocked out Josh Johnson. So I don't hear any more complaining, no more bitching. Last year was last year. This year's this year. This is going to be a good game. I do have my concerns. We don't. Goddard wants to play this game, but I don't think he's going to play this game. So I'm still gonna go with my Eagles. It's gonna be a ridiculously close game, but at the same time, I'm concerned. This is gonna be a stupid close game. I think it's gonna be something like last year. The Bill. It's gonna be last week against the Bills. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be 34-31 with an overtime win. I think it's gonna be 28-28 going to overtime. We hold the 49ers to a field goal, and then we drive down, score a game-winning touchdown. I think that's what's gonna happen. Now, Chiefs and Packers, another boring game. Packers need to win this game, but for to get back in the playoff hunt. But it's the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't expect them to. They're not going to lose to. They're not. Kansas City is not going to lose to Green Bay. Green Bay played pretty well against Detroit, but they're not going to play as well as they did against Patrick Mahomes. So, yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs over the Packers, and then the Monday night game, Jags, definitely picking the Jags over the Bengals. And then these are the teams of the bye: Ravens, Bears, Raiders, Vikings, Bills, and Giants. So let's look at this playoff picture real quick. So right now, the Ravens are the number 1 seed. Eagles are the number 1 seed. Chiefs and Niners are the number 2 seeds. Lions are the 3. Jags are the 3. Dolphins, Falcons are 4. Falcons are only 4 because of the Saints suck. Dallas is the 5th seed. Steelers rose up to the number 5 seed in the AFC. Browns fall down a spot because they lost. Seattle lost and moved down to, and they stayed the same spot. Colts are up 2 and now in the playoff picture, and the Vikings are still the 7th seed as of right now. So, honestly, I really don't trust any of these 3 AFC teams to be in the playoffs, especially the Browns. I have no confidence the Browns are going to make the playoffs after losing Deshaun Watson. So, I expect either Denver or Houston to take their spot. Colts are a maybe. It depends on who they play. Let's actually figure that out right now. Who do the Colts play? Let's go to the Colts. Colts. Where are you at? Right there. The Indianapolis Colts. Who do they play the rest of the year? So just real quick. No. All right. So let's see. All right. So they're at the Titans. That's a definitely good chance to win. Bengals. That's a win. Steelers are a maybe. Falcons are definitely a possible win. Vegas is probably a win, and Houston. So this game could be for a play. This could be for a wild card spot. So, and that's what? How many possible W's? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would leave them at 10-7. And what about Houston? Let's actually go to Houston's page real quick. Teams, just to see who they're facing at the end of the year. Da-da-da. So Denver, this is a toss-up. They can definitely beat the Jets. Definitely beat the Titans. Browns more of a toss-up. Titans is a win, and then so it's probably these 2 teams are probably gonna fight for one of the wild card spots. The last week of the season. I think the Broncos definitely have a good chance to sneak back into the playoff race. The Bills, even though they lost, they still have a chance to get into the playoffs, even though they got a really tough end of the schedule. So the AFC wild cards are really more up for grabs than anything. I trust the Steelers. I trust the Steelers isn't that high, but I trust them enough out of those 3 teams. I trust them the most. And now for the NFC, as of right now, Dallas is going to be that 5th seed no matter what. Because I don't think they're not going to win the division. I think Eagles are going to win the division. Cowboys going to be that 5th seed. Seattle didn't play that great, and Minnesota is losing right now with Josh Dobbs. They lost 2 games in a row with Josh Dobbs, so we need them. So if they want to win, I think they should still stick with Josh Dobbs. But if they don't, that's a really good chance for either the Packers or the Rams to sneak in. Because I don't trust the rest of the NFC. Saints, I don't trust. From the Saints down, I don't trust them making the playoffs. So as of right now, it really is like a wild card race between the Packers and the Rams from the outside looking in to get in the playoffs. So I think the Rams still have a chance. Seattle, I don't know. It depends. Let me see what the rest of their schedule looks like. Let's see. Let's look at the schedule for the Seahawks. Them Seabirds. So they got kind of a rough end of the schedule. Let's see what they got. They've got that they play Dallas tonight. Tonight's the Dallas. So that's probably an L because I picked them. Definitely an L against the Niners. An L against us. That's 3 in a row. They would be what 8 win, and then Titans is a win. Steelers is a toss up, and Arizona is a possibility. So they could be 9-8. And what about the Rams? Because if they end up having the same record as the LA Rams, the Rams have the tiebreaker over them. So let's see the rest of their schedule. So they play the Browns this week. They won last week. They played against the Browns this week. I think that's a win for them. Ravens are not going to beat the Ravens. Commanders, yes, I would say they win. New Orleans, they're at home, so yes. Giants, yes. And it depends on the 49ers want to rest their players. I don't know what they're going to do at the end of the year. If the 49ers rest, they win. If they don't, if they're fighting for the playoff spot or number 1 seed somehow, then San Francisco's going to go all out. So they have 5 wins right now. So let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that'd be 9 wins. They'd be 9-7. And depending on if they win or lose, I don't think it would matter. If the Seahawks and Rams both end up 9-8, the Rams would probably take over. And then let's see who the Vikings have. Let's see who the Vikings and Packers have to face real quick. So Vikings first. They're off. They're off this week. I know that. So let's see. Lost the Bears. All right, so at Las Vegas next week. Well, by the way they're playing, that's probably a toss-up game. By the way that the Vikings are currently playing, it's a toss-up. But they should win that game. Bengals, they should win. And they got Detroit, Green Bay, and Detroit again. So Detroit's kind of struggled a little bit these past couple of weeks, like especially against division opponents, the Bears and Packers. They barely beat the Bears, and they not really got their ass kicked by Green Bay, but they didn't look good. So I think they might split with Detroit. So let's say 7, 8, 9 wins, and they lose these next 2. Well, this is a toss-up between these 2. So it could be 8-9, 9-8. And what about the Packers? Let's go to them. So let's do 8-9. Let's say 8-9 wins for the Vikings, and then let's go with Green Bay. Let's see what the rest of their schedule looks like. Let's see. We are all right. This is their game this week. They're not going to be the Chiefs, so that's an L. Giants they beat, so 6 wins. I think they can beat Tampa Bay. I think they will. So beat Tampa Bay, beat Carolina. So that's what fucking 7, 5, 6 runs. That'd be 5, 7, 6, 7, 7, 7, 8, 7. So if they beat Minnesota, they're at Minnesota this time around. So they go to Minnesota and Chicago. So they lost to Minnesota already once this year. I think if they lose to Minnesota week 17, then that will be the game that will probably give the Vikings the wild card spot. So it really comes down to week 17 for both these teams. They're going to meet at the end of the year, and then depending on record wise, so it'll probably be the same thing, 8-9 wins for both teams. Depending on, so this would be the key game for both Vikings and Packers. So that's just my guesses as of right now. Pretty longer than normal episode. So thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and let me know what you think. Peace out.